Media day in the NBA is like the first day of school. Everyone shows up looking fresh, feeling great, and full of optimism. No one's lost a game yet. Every player is in the best shape of their life, and all the quotes sound like they came straight out of a motivational poster. That was exactly the vibe we got from the Boston Celtics as they stepped up to the mic. And honestly, there's a lot to unpack. From Joe Mazzulla's wild shift strategy to Xavier Tillman dropping pounds and pulling threes, and even Jaylen Brown rolling through with Bill Nye the Science Guy. Yes, you heard that right. It was a media day to remember. Let's start with the most head-turning quote of the day, one that came from Joe Mazzulla via rookie Jordan Walsh. Apparently, the Celtics are seriously considering implementing a 5-in, 5-out rotation this season. Think hockey shifts. Every 4 to 5 minutes, a brand new lineup hits the floor with the task of going absolutely full throttle. Now on paper, it sounds borderline ridiculous. You'd hope guys are already playing hard every minute they're on the court, right? But in reality, this might be a way to maximize effort, especially from a roster that's not exactly stacked with superstar depth right now. What Mazzulla's cooking up feels a lot like what we saw from the Indiana Pacers last season. People who weren't locked in on the Pacers might have missed this, but Indiana made their run not by having the flashiest players, but by simply playing harder than anyone else. They picked up full court constantly, applied relentless pressure, and made life miserable for opponents for 48 straight minutes. That kind of hustle adds up in the regular season, and it even carried over into the playoffs. So maybe Boston is taking notes. Maybe this is their way of acknowledging that, hey, they're not as top-heavy in terms of talent right now. So let's turn the tempo way up, keep legs fresh, and just try to outwork teams. It's not the worst idea, especially when you consider that with Tatum rehabbing and uncertainty surrounding his return, Boston needs to experiment a bit. This could be a throw things at the wall and see what sticks kind of year. Let one group go full blast for 5 minutes, then sub in a fresh 5 to keep the pressure on. It might look chaotic, but if it gives them an edge, why not? Of course, a strategy like that only works if you've got a bunch of guys who are all on roughly the same level. And that's kind of what Boston has. Beyond Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and the newly acquired Anthony Simons, this roster is filled with question marks. Young guys like Jordan Walsh, Baylor Shyman, and Hugo Gonzalez aren't known commodities yet. They're raw, athletic, and energetic, but can they hold up over an 82-game season? Mazzulla might just be betting that with the right system, they won't need to. Those need to go all out in short bursts, disrupt the other team, and let the next group come in to do the same. It's a little desperate, maybe, but it's also kind of exciting. This isn't a play-it-safe approach. It's experimental, aggressive, and it fits a team that's in flux. And if it means we get to see guys like Walsh and Gonzalez flying around the court with reckless energy, that's worth tuning in for. Now, when it comes to Tatum, there was a bit of a tone shift. Last week, he was talking like a guy ready to lace them up any day now. I could be back tomorrow, that sort of vibe. But during media day, the message was a lot more cautious. The plan now is to rehab hard, stay in sync with doctors and trainers, and only return when he's absolutely 100%. Not 95%. Not with a minutes restriction. He's made it clear, if he's coming back, it's to play full games with full intensity, without having to worry about rangery. That's exactly how it should be. The last thing this team needs is a half-speed version of Tatum, playing every other game while trying to shake off rust. If Boston is in a real position to compete by the All-Star break, then bring him back. But if they're hovering around the bottom of the playoff picture, it might make more sense to let him sit, recover fully, and maybe even grab a solid draft pick along the way. Whether they use that pick or flip it for another star, it's still a valuable asset. Meanwhile, the frontcourt situation is about as clear as mud. It's anyone's guess who's going to lock down minutes at center and power forward. Xavier Tillman has reportedly dropped around 12 pounds and is working on extending his range, trying to add the 3-ball to his game. That sounds great in theory, but how many times have we heard that before? Big man's been working on his shot all summer. Cool. Let's see it in real games with a hand in his face. Then you've got Namias Quetta, who seems to be getting the first crack at a starting spot, at least for now. Luka Garza's name is in the mix too, but honestly, we kind of know what he brings to the table at this point. Solid effort, big body, limited upside. It's not like anyone's banking on him becoming a breakout star. Brad Stevens even said he doesn't really know how the front court minutes are going to shake out, which is maybe the most honest thing we've heard from a Celtics exec in a long time. There's a chance this turns into a full-on committee. 15 minutes here, 10 minutes there, matchups dictating who plays when. You might even see some crazy small ball lineups if the other options don't pan out. No one's throwing Jordan Walsh at center, but hey, crazier things have happened. The truth is, no one in that front court has a guaranteed spot right now. It's wide open. And how about Anthony Simons? This was his first media day in a Celtics uniform, and the vibes were good. He said all the right things, excited to be in a winning environment, feeling the energy from teammates, and looking forward to growing on the defensive end. That last part, though, raised some eyebrows. Simon said that defense is all about culture and effort, and that being around the right group will elevate his game. Now look, it's great to hear that. But anytime a player says something like, the culture here will make me better, it kind of sounds like they're admitting they weren't trying as hard before. That's not the best look. Like, where was this effort in Portland? Was the situation there really that uninspiring? Maybe, but still, defense should be a constant, not something you pick up only when the vibes are right. Still, if Mazzulla can tap into Simon's potential and get him locked in on both ends, that's a huge win. Simons has always had scoring talent, and if he becomes even a league-average defender, that opens up a ton of possibilities for Boston. You pair him with White and Brown, and suddenly the backcourt looks a lot more dangerous. And yeah, let's talk about Jaylen Brown for a second. The dude showed up to Media Day streaming on Twitch. Like, full-blown live-streaming the event. And in the middle of all that, he drops some deep self-reflection stuff, talking about therapy, feeling more comfortable in his own skin, and just wanting to open up more. That's some real grown man energy right there. He also brought along Bill Nye the Science Guy, because why not? Apparently, Bill Nye was just hanging out while the Celtics were doing interviews, popping up on Jaylen's Twitch and doing random science bits. The NBA has officially entered its weird era, and I'm here for it. Jaylen also mentioned he's feeling fully healthy for the first time in a long time. That knee injury from last season seems to be behind him, and he's moving like his old self again. That's huge, because a fully healthy Brown is a problem for any defense. You could tell from the way he was talking, he's locked in. Even Sam Hauser got in on the media day action, reflecting on trade rumors and saying he understood if the team needed to make moves. No hard feelings. That's the kind of professionalism you want to see, especially from role players who might be on the bubble as the season unfolds. Hauser and Simons are probably going to hear their names in trade talks all year, so how they handle that mentally could make a big difference. Then there's Peyton Pritchard, who said he cut out alcohol last season and is doubling down on recovery this year. Sleeping better, training smarter, and preparing for a bigger role. You hear this kind of stuff every media day. Guys saying they're in the best shape of their lives. They've cut out junk food. They've got a new mindset. But hey, it's still good to hear. And everyone seems to be singing Tatum's praises even while he's sidelined. Pritchard talked about seeing Tatum in the gym every day, grinding through his rehab, and staying laser-focused. That kind of leadership, even off the court, matters. It sets a tone. It shows the young guys what it means to take the job seriously. If Tatum does come back this year, there's a real chance he looks even better than before. As we roll deeper into the vibes of Celtics Media Day, the tone starts to shift from just feel-good moments to some real questions and unknowns about how this team will shape up once the ball is actually tipped. One of the most fascinating elements heading into training camp is how the front court battle is going to shake out. Right now, it feels like an open audition. You've got names like Xavier Tillman, Neemias Queta, Josh Minott, Luka Garza, even Chris Boucher floating around, and nobody has a clear claim to a starting role or even consistent minutes. And that, in a weird way, is exactly what makes this upcoming camp so intriguing. Let's circle back to Xavier Tillman for a second, because he's one of the more interesting cases. He showed up reportedly 12 pounds lighter, talked about expanding his range, and is clearly aiming to reinvent his role a bit this season. Now, we've heard the "I've been working on my three-point shot" narrative from bigs every offseason. That's become a running joke in NBA circles. But with Tillman, it might not be just noise. He's had stretches in his career where he's shown flashes of being a strong positional defender and a high IQ player. If he can add a consistent outside shot, even just from the corners, that opens up Boston's offense in a big way. Then there's DAMIAN, who by all accounts seems to be the favorite to get first crack at some of those starting minutes. He's got the size, the physical tools, and he plays with a bit of edge. But we haven't seen enough of him in a regular rotation role to know how that translates across 82 games. Brad Stevens even admitted publicly that he has no idea how the front court situation will play out, which is rare honesty from a front office executive. Usually, you hear some vague statement like, "We feel confident in our depth," or "We're excited about the competition." But Brad just said flat out, "We don't know." That tells you everything you need to know. Josh Minott also got some shine, mostly because of his personality and the way he spoke about his connection with Mazzulla. Apparently, he finds the Celtics head coach inspiring and a bit of a weirdo, which is starting to feel like the most universal descriptor of Joe Mazzulla you'll hear around the league. Teammates, opposing players, media, everyone seems to agree that Joe's a bit offbeat, but it works. There's clearly something about his approach that players gravitate towards. And in a year like this, where experimentation might be the name of the game, having a coach who's not afraid to try weird stuff might be exactly what they need. So, what does all this mean for actual gameplay? If Boston doesn't find one or two guys who emerge as reliable rotation bigs, this could turn into a total committee. You get the sense they're not afraid to go matchup-based with their lineups, maybe even lean all the way into small ball, depending on the opponent. There's been a little chatter, jokingly or not, about guys like Jordan Walsh being used at the 5. Obviously, that's not going to happen in any serious way, but the fact that people are even entertaining that idea says a lot about the uncertainty surrounding the front court. As for Jordan Walsh himself, his name continues to pop up as one of those young guys who might get real opportunities if he shows something in camp. The Celtics don't have a ton of guaranteed production outside of their top 4 or 5 players, so the door is wide open for someone like Walsh to step up. Same goes for Baylor Shyman and Hugo Gonzalez. And while their names don't carry weight yet, that could change quickly if one of them find a rhythm early on. Hugo, in particular, has been getting some attention not necessarily for his on-court production yet, but more for the camaraderie he's building with the team. There was a great little moment mentioned where the team was watching NFL games together, and Hugo was just there, vibing, having no clue what was going on, but still bonding with the group. Those are the little things that matter in a locker room. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Whispers around the league have been growing louder, and the latest rumor might just shake the NBA landscape to its core. Damian Lillard, one of the league's most lethal closers, is reportedly eyeing a move that could transform Boston Celtics' late-game destiny. According to multiple sources close to the player, Lillard is intrigued by the prospect of joining the Celtics, a team already loaded with talent, but still chasing that elusive edge in clutch moments. Lillard, known for his ice-cold demeanor under pressure and uncanny ability to drain impossible shots, has long been linked to teams that offer championship potential. Yet, what makes this potential reunion with Boston particularly intriguing is the fit. The Celtics roster, brimming with two-way stars and sharpshooters, could provide the perfect canvas for Lillard's high-stakes artistry. Rumor has it that Boston's front office has quietly expressed interest, believing that pairing Lillard with their young core could create one of the deadliest finishing units in the league. Sources suggest that Lillard has been weighing options meticulously, considering both the strategic fit and the opportunity to cement his legacy. While he has remained publicly loyal to his current team, insiders hint at subtle signs, late-night meetings, quiet conversations with Celtics execs, and even a softening stance toward relocation that suggest a potential pivot. Imagine the Boston Garden erupting as Lillard curls around screens for a dagger 3, the Celtics finally possessing a closer who thrives in the chaos of the final seconds. League insiders are buzzing. If this move were to happen, the ripple effects would extend far beyond Boston. Teams vying for playoff positioning might rethink strategies, while contenders in the East would suddenly face a new, nearly unstoppable late-game threat. Of course, nothing is set in stone, and Lillard's camp remains tight-lipped, fueling speculation and whispers with every passing day. Fans and pundits alike are left to wonder, is Boston the next stage for one of basketball's most fearless finishers? Or is this just another tantalizing rumor, destined to linger without ever fully materializing? Either way, the NBA offseason just got infinitely more electrifying. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.